Welcome to my video, thanks for tuning in. This is actually a voiceover instead of the music now that my microphone works. I hope you guys enjoy it, let's get on with it. So basically I'm gonna bank over here a couple of supplies that I don't really need, which is generally speaking food, tarodomians or anglers or those kind of things. The first room will be shamans. It's always a little bit better to use the shortcut since the new quality of lives have been arised. Anyway, ranging, very viable to actually go with over here if you don't have a Tumagun or anything like that. Making it jump is actually losing some time. It's not really that difficult to still have a good BB, if that makes sense. So it's optional. If you just want to chill, you can basically stand around the middle instead of the corners, but he doesn't jump, so it is what it is. It's a 4x4, I think. I could be wrong though. I think he will. Yeah, okay, cool. So as you see over here, the second one, the reason that I don't attack it instantly is because he's perfectly aligned now. Or actually a decent track. So we're gonna do a little bit of damage, walk it over here, and it is stuck. It's automatically safe spot. 100% safe spottable if he actually stands next to the door. So this makes it just a quality of life, but you kind of lose a little bit of damage. It's nothing too bad. You could technically also run in slightly early before he dies to negate some of the padding towards waiting, because now, as you see, they explode right about the same time. So that's completely fine. I'm not used to this gear, so I'm somewhat slow. It's, the habit is more important of the gear than actually the gear that you bring, if that makes sense. I'm so familiar with the side now that making switches in dual wielding and a 4-to-1 feels kind of odd, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's a very simple concept over here. Just hit and run. You always want to have one space in between you and Vespula. The reason that you actually do that is solely so he won't melee you and only do the chip damage. Chip damage can never be a 10, so you will never be chanced. But if you stand next to her and you have your redemption, for example, on, she can hit a 19 and redemption only procs with a 10 or below. So yeah, you will be dead, given that will occur if you're standing next to her. It's always good to keep that in mind. It's an easy room, but a semi-tedious in time. With this setup, it's good, but the supplies that you use, if your RNG is bad, isn't the best. So yeah, I basically go back towards the full melee. Reason why is I actually have dual wielding then, and I can bring in everything. If I had two-handed with me, I couldn't pick up everything. So this is solely based on a spacious calculation, if that makes sense. So I eat up more than enough, so I can overload for the next rooms. Also the reason why I don't tightrope skip. I usually always do. In my speedruns I do. But I want to keep it simple for you guys and not go into insane mechanics, if that makes sense. And I'm not familiar with this gear, so I don't know precisely how much food I need for all. So I thought by myself, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it easy, keep it breezy, we should be completely fine like that. I am currently overloaded, which is just so nice. Don't forget your trolls, they actually do deal quite a lot of damage. And yeah, this room basically speaks for itself if you do not tightrope skip. Just killing boss and waiting. You could technically go trade one-on-one. I think, if I'm correct, it's... No, I think, yeah, we have 6 ticks, so 3 ticks, 2 hits, he does them 1, because he's 5 tick, if I remember. So yeah, technically I could do 2 hits and then flick. Same with this one. Always on the start you can eat 2. Or hit twice and then eat your low. But after that, I think it's better to just do one-on-one. You're kind of tanky in this particular setup, so you shouldn't be really chancing yourself that much. Now is a different story. I'm 10 HP. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, I don't think he can hit 29s, so we should be fine. Okay, we are dangerous territory, and I tick eat everything. So basically, the easiest way to tick eat the hits is if you click back, you basically, once you click back, you also click through a foot. That way you will never die. It's more easy than you actually will have thought about it. So 11, so I'm not going to chance that. I think I actually wait here. Okay, what? Nope, never mind. Need to tick eat that. It's always zeros. Crossover, quite easy. We're done with this room. No big deal. Next room will be Guardians. And therefore, I already swap towards the next room. It's in a way good to swap towards the gear that you need in the next room while either running to it or that your current room is dead. That makes sense. That way you just save a little bit. Special attack is really nice here, especially if you have a light bearer or anything like that. The reason that I don't equip my light bearer right now is watch the next room. The next room is a crap. Therefore, I don't need special attack. I would not have done smash like a pickaxe special attack if I knew, let's say, for example, the next room was stacked on and I needed my Warhammer spec, right? You don't do it then. You keep it like that. It's fine. The reason that I don't also go for the light bearer right now is it lowers my max hits. I'd rather have an ult or B-ring or anything like that while actually just dealing damage, and then the next room, for example puzzle, if I don't forget about it, I equipped it then, because I'm not gonna do combat anyway, so it's better than actually have your light bearer on it. It's a little bit of strategic planning towards your future rooms consistently. In my opinion, most people have the skill to really improve their time by only one specific thing, which is don't stand still. Most people get a PB by minutes easily by just not standing still. I think not standing still is the most difficult part. Anyway, I grab one, hit him, do the range first. By the way, this is not tick perfect, not at all. So yeah, I did that wrong. I actually changed my settings for crabs, so that kind of screwed me over. But not too bad. You can technically with your Sang heal up a lot of HP if need be. The reason that I don't do it is my overload is within a minute back to 100% HP. So I am not going to waste my charges, get heal, and then your overload get you heal back, you know? Like I do it once just to see whether I get it or not. It's just an automatic thing that still is stuck. But generally speaking, I don't like to do that much unless my overload is like 2 minutes or something, you know? Next room. Quite easy. By the way, crabs is just stun in place wherever your tile marks are standing and not difficult at all. It may be at first be a little bit overwhelming crabs, but once you do it a couple of times solo, it really is easy. Anyway, try to always use the energy pools either completely optimal, so along the way, don't go out of the way for it, or don't use them at all and use your stamina, if that makes sense, or your purple speeds or something like that, right? So overload already right now, so we actually don't have to worry about that. Mid-fighting, better to do it early than late. Now we jump instantly in here, I think, yeah. This is, by the way, a voiceover, but I really like the voiceover because I can just game properly and then talk over what's going to happen, if that makes sense. So I start off with a Warhammer, quite nice to start always with a Warhammer. The reason why is your LB, your light bearer. Okay, so I got a little bit of, ragdolled by Om. It is what it is. Okay, 3 to 0. So basically we go from, I'm going to refer the tiles as skip, 1 and 2, okay? Or mage. So basically I always go to skip, then to 1, wait 1 single game tick, very important. Since it isn't crippled, I actually try to cripple it. By going back there, and then going back, but it just won't cripple. My damage output isn't the best. I have to wait a little bit here, due to the fact that I was early. Okay, we can go back here. Always when you hit the hand, you must go back to skip, because it will properly go to the south side, so it will always see you. And therefore you always tank on 2, if you actually have done prior hit on melee arm. So going back to skip prevents a hit incoming towards you after you try to proc it. So now it's procced, and you can just do skip, go to 1, wait a game tick, and 2, and go to skip. Once you are standing on 2, and you click on the arm, you also want to click on the tile skip at the same time, otherwise you won't be tracked correctly. As you see over here, I must tank because I didn't think about the fact that he will properly go towards the wrong side, because I nulled my hit. It's kind of RNG, not really, but it's too difficult to explain while, having not that much time. Not a perfect guide in every possible way, because then I need to pause the video and explain things, and it will be like an hour. Anyway, we switch to melee. I see over here. Let's see, I go to, yep. So I like to set it up on the, how's it called? Special that now occurs, and then do 2 hits. So I do 2 hits, and I go back. I may have done it completely incorrect, so you can fix it by a 3 to 0. For those, or 3 to 1. For those who don't know, if you are actually in a 4 to 1, you can fix it if you're making a mistake by 3 to 0. Anyway, what I do right now is go from skip to 1, then hit on 2, go to flame side, wait a tick, go to 2 again, and go to 1. This way, if flames occurs, this is an asset, but you will always place it there if you wait 1 game tick once you go back. I will explain it in the next run a little bit better. Since I now have 100% spec, I like to start off once again with a spec. In phase 3, I can explain 4 to 1 a little bit better due to the fact that you can insta-set it, if that makes sense. For those who know, I don't think this guide will be for you. For those who don't know, it's so cheesy way of getting instantly in it. Anyway, I do here 2 hits, and I actually cripple it. Perfect. That way I can do my light bearer on, which I completely forgot, I see. But normally I do that instantly. It is really difficult to consistently swap between things, inventory management wise, For example, in a previous video, I actually banged my Book of the Dead because I generally thought I had a different weapon there. So, it happens. Anyway, go from skip, do a hit. If you're not blocked, after the skip, you always do a hit and run back to skip. So it's like a zigzag, if that makes sense, right? Wait a game tick on 2 or 3, or, depending whether you wait 1 or 2 game ticks on the weapon and when it's fired and where you stand. So it's always 1 game tick of waiting if you do a 3 to 0, with the fact that you then therefore... Oh, I made that mistake again. It's so strange to see this back due to the fact that Dumican is so getting used to it. It's completely different. Anyway, if you miss and you hit a 0, you can either run towards that tile that I did there, all the way in the south, or you tank an extra hit and just keep on damaging and staying in cycle. If you run towards all the way south, you're missing ticks, so it's not good for speedrun method. Anyway, see, that's 2 hits that we got, and I was actually a tick off, so I'm waiting here, and this is then 1, 2, wait a game tick, 3, and that placed perfect. Now I see I'm in 4-2, because I got 2 hits, and I dealt 4. So this is the second hit, and this is the third hit, meaning that I'm now in the 4-1. Because I was in the wrong cycle. Always when you're in the wrong cycle, fix it with the 3-1. You will always go back to a 4-1. Doesn't matter what cycle you're in, fix it with a 3-1 if you're a 4-tick weapon. It's very easy that way. Unfortunately, we got the wrong burn. Kind of would have loved to have the flames over the passive damage dealing effect, solely so I could show you that the cycle is still in continue, even though you have flames next to it, if that makes sense. So now what we have is basically a Warhammer hit. You can normally do 2 Warhammer hits, but I only have 1. So I decided to not do it, because I hit a 0. The reason that I normally would start with an insta 4-1 is of course always when I hit something decent. If I don't lower his defense, it's not good to actually start your sequence on the melee arm, because you can get it back while maging. So you're basically maging consistently to get your special attack back for a second special attack. Otherwise you have only 1 and you're hitting him on high defense. You don't want to do that. You're better off going mage if you hit a 0 on your Warhammer, and you're completely fine to hit maybe the second time 10 or 20 or whatever, right? So basically I'm consistently trying to proc it. It doesn't proc us, phase 3, but this means I have chip damage. I at least have a little bit of passive damage on the melee arm without actually doing a full melee cycle, if that makes sense, right? So basically what I'm doing is consistently get it down a little bit by little bit. And once the mage arm is almost dead, that will mean that I also have melee maybe halfway there, if that makes sense. It's not optimal, not at all, for world records or PBs or whatever, but it works for getting your decent kill in. So 2 hits over here, and then back towards there, perfect. Okay, I have to tank that one. Unfortunately, while I tanked, I also get a spec, so you're always out of cycle. It's on the same game tick as he turns, wait a game tick, and on the same game tick as well. You always want to be on game tick that you hit registers as the same as he turns. So the head turns, you walk. Head turns, you hit. It's always kind of like that. This is perfect example. I am now pretty much avoiding the whole special, but I was in the wrong cycle, and it's fixed. You can always do a 1-0 if you have a special occurring. So lightning or whatever, right? Warhammer hits 0, obviously, and I was a tick late there, which means he's healing. This was totally my fault. I was, due to the Warhammer switch, a tick late. I just by accidentally stood still, but there's nothing to do than just to roam around and waste time. It's not good, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, we need to eat. I don't like eating in my rage. Normally, I want to only eat when the occurred boost applies. So you want to do it prior to that, but it doesn't always pin out, especially not if you're that low HP. Okay, I'm gonna get a hit here, but I know that. I kind of hope that instantly kill it. My switches were not on point here. Okay, oh, nobody see that, okay? Nobody sees that. I totally did not heal him. Okay, we go there. Hit and hit, come on. Never lucky. Overloaded. And then we go to range. Anyway, you want to always go from 2 towards the other 2. So the outer space for me is 2.3 and 2.3 on the other side, or 2 on the other side. I don't have the tile marks in my YouTube because I don't know how to fix that. But if I know how to fix it, I will actually tile mark it in, I don't know, whatever. We will see. If anybody knows how to fix that, will be a game changer. I'm not good at this method. I think the blowpipe is better DPS wise, but I try to just hit, go to the side, hit again, now tank, hit again, and once he turns, you have a good hit here, and you turn him again, and I kind of try to gate between, or glide between a hit and missing a hit. It's changing. If I'm very low HP, I'd rather not deal damage, because dealing damage means taking damage, and this way I can prevent getting hit, but I prevent getting a personal best. Well, it's slowly chipping away without getting hit, so this is basically a 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. It's not optimal, but I'm so low HP, it's completely fine like that. Anyway, hit here, because he turns. We need to wait here. This is a hit. I need to tank. I think I was a little impatient. Okay, you can not hit there. Now you can, due to the fact that otherwise I would have got the ceiling collapse on me. Okay, summon the troll again. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes. That could potentially have dealt me a 29, 31, give or take, whatever it is. So yeah, that would have resolved in 15 HP. But hey, we managed. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you guys liked it, I will make more like these.